Janelle, could you please give me a roll call?
Mayor Kukta,
Here.
Ms. Darrow,
Here.
Mr. Mott,
Present.
Mr. Westbrook.
Here.
All right, we have a set of minutes from December 9th, 2013, and we were all here. Do I have any motions to accept?
I'll make a motion, we accept as submitted.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, moving on, we are gonna go right to the proposed assisted living facility, since it's a special meeting for you guys. So why don't somebody come up down here? You can all come down here if you want, but you have to fight over the chairs when you get here.
We're all here for the same reason.
Yes, you are.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, we appreciate it. My name is Lloyd Chapman. I'm a principal with RHB Holdings. I've been an assisted living developer since the mid-90s. This is Buck Withers, with the Withers Design Group, our architect. He's a representative from our engineering firm, and my partner, Bill Brooks, with RHB Holdings as well.
All right.
We appreciate the opportunity and want to thank you for calling a special meeting to
On a snowy
consider
night.
site plan review on a snowy night when I'm certain everyone would rather be at home having a nice warm bowl.
I told you we should have had Saturday.
Well, I wasn't here, I had to fly in for this. That sounds good, though.
It's true.
Like a big deal.
Well, your staff have been extremely professional and terrific to work with, and we want to thank them.
I'm blessed.
We are
I'm
blessed. The entire community is blessed.
Well, first of all, we had some comments, so let's go to the comments, and seeing as Brian's not here, Janelle, was there anything there from Brian? I know we had some from Dennis.
Yeah, I have some
Yeah.
comments from Brian.
Okay. Oh, yes, here they are, got it.
The applicant is proposing a 98-unit assisted living facility on vacant land between South Bedford and Girl Scout Way. The subject site is Zone B1 Convenience Business District, and assisted living facilities are conditionally permitted subject to the performance requirements set forth in section 116708 and the standards for conditional uses set forth in section 113704 of the code. I have reviewed a site plan dated November 27th, 2013 in connection with this request and offer the Planning Commission the following comments for their consideration. The plan provides 44 off-street parking spaces and the code requires 33 spaces based on the parking space for every 3 beds in the facility. Therefore, the plan complies with the off-street parking standards. The height of the building is proposed at 41 feet and the code permits 35 feet, section 116708E. It's my understanding a variance was granted for the additional building height. The south end of the building encroaches into the required 90-foot rear yard setback, section 116708G. It is my understanding that a variance was granted for the setback encroachment. Compliance with the section 116708I is required when the rear lot line of any senior citizen residence facility adjoins a residential district. This adjoining lot line, the southerly lot line, shall be screened to a minimum height of 6 feet by a hedge, planting, or other screening as determined by the Planning Commission. A landscape plan will be needed to satisfy this requirement. Details for the proposed retaining wall adjacent the patio area will need to be provided for city approval. A lighting and landscape plan should be submitted to ensure compliance with the regulations set forth in section 117111 of the code. The city engineer should confirm if the width of the access way from South Bedford and South Park is acceptable. The comments provided in numbers 4 through 6 above are fairly minor and can be included as stipulations on the Planning Commission's final approval of this project. If you have any questions or needs or need additional information, please feel free to contact me.
All right, Dennis?
Planning Commission should note that variances were granted on December 3rd, 2013 for building height and reduced rear yard setback adjacent to an R district. The exterior of the building has evolved from the elevation that was given preliminary approval in April of 2013. The roof style has been changed to a hip roof, which I believe is an improvement as it softens the apparent height of the building. A different material has been introduced at the 3rd floor level, while the lower levels remain brick and stone, which fit with the town center standards. The applicant should clarify all exterior materials for the commission so the materials can be confirmed with the construction drawings when submitted.
All right, any other questions or comments? Kevin, Bill, Rita, any
I was looking at, parking actually, see how these guys are all parked? Like there's-
Parking's on here. He's got one over, yeah.
I was just wondering.
Maybe show the parking.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I was looking at that and looking at this and going,
Right, well, no, that's the front elevation.
Right.
The parking is shown here. As you, excuse me, I'm gonna
Please.
point you. As we come off of Bedford Road, we come into our main entrance right here. We've got a stick of parking over here and a piece of parking over here, and then we circulate around the back of the building to more parking here. We would envision that visitors and perhaps staff would use these parking spots out here. There are 4 handicap spots here for obvious reasons. We have a covered drop-off for the convenience and keeping everybody's head dry on nights like this. We come around here, and we've got parking here, which is probably going to be dedicated to staff, and maybe some visitors would enter in the back. So that's sort of a brief overview of the parking in the other.
One of the things Lloyd and I talked about a long time ago was how much traffic you think will be generated, and what do you think? And you told me some things about how much actually is developed when you have a facility like this. In other words, there's not a lot of traffic, not a lot of people come to visit. Is that still the case with the way you got it set up?
Sadly, that's true.
Yes, sadly.
We accommodate our staff, and by shift, a facility this size, in terms of full-time equivalents, somewhere between 60 and 70 people on staff. On any given shift, obviously the majority of the people are working during the day, and we're covering 7 days a week with that staffing. So you divide that by 1.4, because each FTE is 2/10 of a day. Sorry, I'm a director of nursing in hospitals by background, and I'm used to scheduling nurses 7 days a week. I'm an RN by background as well. So top number of people working at any given point in time are likely to be about 14, 15, tops 16 people. In terms of traffic flow, we do have residents where family will visit them nearly every day. And in a 95-unit facility, that might be 10% of them. The majority are lucky to get a visit once a week or once every 2 weeks. So we don't have a tremendous amount of inflow and outflow from a traffic pattern standpoint. Certainly not like a retail location.
usually done, if you're in there for like, if there's a wing that deals with, if you get, like, say if you break your hip and you had to go to assisted living just to get rehab, you know, the hospital lets you go, that wing, you'll get visitors because they're going home. If it's like Alzheimer's or dementia or just like somebody who's very, very old and really, you know, they're there, but, you know, a lot of the families don't come and visit you. Usually like a first floor, if they need a little bit of help, those families visit.
You're absolutely right.
I worked in a nursing home for almost 18 years of my life, and I know that 100%.
You're absolutely right. And we don't have a short-term stay rehab unit here. The short-term stay rehab typically gets taken care of in the skilled nursing facility,
Yes.
just like you said. In fact, I've owned facilities and operated facilities where we have a nursing home and that's attached
Yes.
to the assisted living. In fact, we're working on two of those right now, one in North Canton and one in Brooklyn. And we see a lot more visitors in that, because the average length of stay, as you know, is 2-3 weeks for rehab. My brother had a total hip, and he
Right.
went for rehab for a couple of weeks and then went home,
Well,
and we were in there every day. But in here, it's what we call long-term care, where people
Right.
tend to stay. Our average length of stay is 20 months, so people are there for quite a while, and they don't get visited.
Are you gonna have hospice here, or?
We will not operate our own hospice. However, we will invite hospice. In a circumstance where someone needs end-of-life care, hospice is fantastic.
Right.
Particularly at pain control. And sometimes they'll assign someone to come in and stay with the resident in lieu of an admission to hospice house. They get paid on a capitated basis each month by Medicare and insurance companies, so they can kind of afford it. So they bring people in, usually not much more than about 2 weeks, where they'll have somebody doing around the clock stuff for hospice.
Right.
I'll tell you what, I was in the short term, and, nothing like this, but where I went after heart surgery. You know, and they finally let you out, you go to a place like that. And the only visitors I had were my direct relatives. They really didn't want a whole bunch of people coming in, so. Anyhow, so I think we have enough in the way of parking. According to what it said on the traffic study, it's almost negligible, the impact you would have,
Sadly.
yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
Does fire have enough, I mean, I noticed the access road doesn't go all the way around the building. Off of, what is it, South Park?
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder if they have enough, area there to get into this edge of the building.
The fire code, the state fire code calls for any given part of the building has to be no more than 150 feet away from an access point by a fire vehicle. So I don't know what this dimension really is, but from here to here is no more than 300 feet. I'm sure of that. So, so if you're going for the 150 rule, a truck would sit up here and stretch a hose over your 150 feet, and similarly over here. We have been through a round of comments having to do with fire protection. There's a fire line over here, there are adequate fire hydrants and fire lines covering this property, so we're not too concerned about that.
Good question.
Floyd, you and Bill know you're gonna be paying less for fire insurance now because of our rating
Yeah.
changing, dropping to a 2, which there's only 1% of the fire departments have a 2. So we're pretty.
This is one of the smarter communities we've ever been affiliated with, frankly.
Yeah, well, when you're coming in with something like that, you don't think about that when you're thinking about all the costs that are involved. And you're looking at all these drawings, but those are the little things that I hope will keep you here and keep you healthy and keep you financially healthy.
I appreciate it.
All right, any other questions, comments, anything?
Is there any, trash enclosure, is that what does that look like? I don't know if I saw anything here for that.
The trash enclosure will be, right, the dumpster enclosure right here will have the same brick as is on the building. The doors here have a steel frame, just to, because it's stronger than a wood frame. So it's a steel frame here with a wood paneling. So the wood is gonna be tasteful. The brick matches whatever brick we come up with on the building.
We could landscape around that, and then we'll be submitting a full landscape plan.
Okay.
Right.
And your staff will
This-
have to approve it, or?
This comment came up, and there is a requirement for screening in your code for this
Between
parking area right
Yeah.
here, so it's shown on the engineering plans, and we added a little bit to it here when we put this on our drawings today. I talked to Dennis and he pointed out that we should show this as plans when it exists here. This is way short of a full landscape plan, which will come at a later stage.
So when are you gonna start?
We're hoping April, May.
So right away, first break in the
We're
spring.
very close. We'll put the pedal to the metal with your agreement on the architectural services for the finer details and the structural stuff.
Yeah, which will be good because during their heavy construction, school will be out, summer break.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We'll have a roof on it.
Yeah, because I think school gets out
That is-
June,
that is
beginning of
good.
June, and you're looking at, you're not gonna have to worry about busing, the buses and kids around during a lot of major construction.
Okay, I mean,
So-
And it's a pain with masonry to put that plastic on the
Mhm.
outside of the building and heat it, and so we're hoping to get the masonry, the roof on, and have things capped nicely.
Right.
So that by next winter, we can be working on it.
If there's any question about that, if we're able to start as we think we're going to be able to in the early spring, it'll be way under roof in the final stages, in the final third of the construction phase cycle during the
Well, that's such a beautiful building. It'll be such an asset there.
This is really close to the final, and this is it.
When you're on, imagine you're on 82 right there waiting for the light by Speedway. That thing's gonna be sitting there. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my job sign right on top of it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so visible.
Wait, you know, talking about parking, usually, like, the staff will go in the back, usually
Yes.
the day shift and second shift, and usually only your night shift goes through the front door.
Exactly.
So
You know?
yeah, I do, so
Oh, yeah,
that's,
you
yeah,
do
night
know
shift,
that.
because you don't want somebody going in the back by them, you know, especially nurses. You know, it's just dangerous, you know, for them to go in at nighttime. That's why nurses always park, because there's not gonna be anybody using it. And then by time they come on, 7:30 in the morning, they're leaving, and then, you know, you got your visitors or, you know, whatever.
You're absolutely right.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the plans as submitted. This is for final approval.
And I think they gotta come back.
Well,
that's
only
just
for
for-
landscaping,
Right.
lighting.
Site plan.
Yeah.
I'll second
Site
his
plan
motion.
approval. All right. Any stipulations, as directed by our planner, I guess,
Right.
would be enough, Janelle, just to put in there.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor, do I have a second? We have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We appreciate you all very much.
Oh,
We'll
thank
make
you.
you very proud.
I know you will.
Yeah, I got the same one. Isn't that a great card?
It
See
is,
the
it shows him as a regular guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
See the inside thing? Oh, I
Was
got
that
one.
Dave?
Yours had money in it, mine didn't.
Janelle, did you send this here?
I owe you.
Oh, yeah,